So it'll be great for you guys to hear that tonight. I'm Mrs. Peacock, I'm the principal. So first, a couple things for you guys to know. In between the different orchestras, there will be a short standing intermission. Feel free to stand up and stretch, but that's the students to change orchestras and also have a chance to tune. So just know that's coming. If you haven't already, please make sure that your phones are on silent. And I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Adam. Enjoy the performance.
I'm also very excited for those of you that are here tonight to get to see the progression of this orchestra class. So this is Orchestra 1, and when they're done, they'll go back and they'll watch, and you'll get to see Orchestra 2 and then Orchestra 3 as the program grows. So all of the kids that performed tonight were where these kids are right now, and these kids will be soon, where even the very last group, they're going to be there in a couple of years, as long as they keep working hard, and I'm really excited for that, to see the growth of this program. get for here in the middle school. It's essentially a big end of the year playing test for our orchestras. Orchestra 3 gets to go next week to Western Middle School. And that's why this concert is titled an MPA concert, stands for Music Performance Assessment. And we did not play Autumn, as I said, but we played the next three that you just heard. So we show up, we played for a judge, and the judge came up and worked with us for a couple of minutes. And this group up here, they got, the score that they got was a 1 minus, which I know sounds really bad. But MPA, they flip it, so the 1 is actually superior. So they got essentially an A minus, which is a really high score. You can give them a round of applause. He joined us on percussion, so if you could give him an extra round of applause. Okay, while the violin sections take places, and before we play our final piece, I want to draw your attention to the insert that was in your program. I think we've put mine in our notes, not everybody has one. March is Music in Our Schools Month, which is not something I've ever celebrated before, but it is something that I just want to use March as our concert as another moment to remind you how important it is to have music in education. I think that no education is complete without even just a little bit of music education, whether it's band or orchestra or choir or private lessons or that your students really love to play. But just all of my memories of growing up and being in music was what made me feel like a more well-rounded person, and it helped me connect to other cultures, to other people, to other parts of our world, or even just hear things on the radio. It helped me play that and I could connect to more, and it felt like I got to be part of something that's bigger than myself, and also to connect to people at different times in history. So music that was written hundreds of years ago, which you're about to hear. This is Brandenburg is written by Johann Sebastian Bach, who lived about 400-ish years ago. So I can connect, these students up here can connect to people hundreds of years ago. They can connect to people around the world, like I said, to each other. They've grown to be friends in this class. So I just want to once again be an advocate for music in our schools. It means a lot to have our admin, Mrs. Peacock here. We have an incredible administration here at the school. The biggest way that you guys can be advocates for music, I know the program has a bunch of different ideas, but the best way is just to encourage your kids to stay in this class and to let other people know when they're wondering what class their kids should take. Tell them that music is an awesome opportunity and it helps your students learn a lot more and their brains can connect in different ways. So thank you for being here tonight, for being an advocate for music in our schools. We want to keep it here. very simple. We played the beginning of the year with Orchestra 2, but we've been working really hard this year on a concept called shifting, which is where I teach them for the first 2 years that their left hand belongs in a very specific shape, and then they get to year 3, and it's actually just spinning it belongs all over the fingerboard. So we've been working really hard on that. You're going to notice their left hand's moving up and down, and it works. This piece has come along it's come along well. So I just want you to know that even though it sounds simple and it sounds beautiful, it's a very difficult concept that they're working on. I want you to congratulate them on that later. If you don't know what shifting is, you can say, hey, really nice shifting there. You're going to sound like you know exactly what you're talking about. Because they're doing really a great job with this. Congratulations and good luck, or congratulations tonight, but good luck for next week, and ask them how they went, because I won't be able to share with you their score, we haven't got it yet, but I know that they'll do really well. And I also want to re-emphasize, and say this in every concert, that it's usually about the time when the last group is performing, that I remember how much I really love this job. Sometimes during the year it gets a little bit, I get kind of down on myself and say, I don't know if this is what I meant to do, maybe I'm not a great teacher. But every concert, without fail, I remember that this is what I wanted to do since I was their age. In middle school, and in high school, and in college, this is what I worked for, and I'm so happy to be here with your kids, with this community. So thank you so much for your support, for making this such an enjoyable job for me.